Thank you all for coming. We are here today to update our community on the recent allegations into the criminal conduct at Black Rock Canines here in Naugatuck. My name is Officer Danielle Durrett, and I am the Public Information Officer here at the department. Here with me today, I have Naugatuck Police Chief Colin McAllister, Naugatuck Captain Daniel Nork, Detective Lieutenant Ryan Burns, and from the Connecticut State Police, I have Public Information Sergeant Dawn Pagan, Connecticut State Police PIO Trooper Pedro Munez, and from the Connecticut State Police Bomb Squad, I have Sergeant Sean Connolly. I will be turning the microphone over to Chief McAllister, who will be providing a statement on behalf of the department.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out today. The information that led to this arrest began in late April 2022 when the Connecticut Department of Agriculture and the State Animal Control Unit, the Connecticut State Police, and the Stratford Police Department contacted the Naugatuck Police Department regarding a joint investigation involving allegations of the storage of illegal explosives, firearms, and possible animal cruelty allegations at the Black Rock Canine Training Facility, which is located at 100 Hunters Mountain Road here in Naugatuck. The Black Rock Canines is a training facility for potential military and police canines, as well as a privately owned canines by individuals seeking such training. The owner of Black Rock Canines, David Rivera Jr., is a sworn police officer for the town of New Canaan, Connecticut. Based upon the above allegations, Naugatuck detectives and animal control officers launched their own investigation separate from the Stratford and the state police. And through interviews, witnesses, it was alleged that numerous canines of all ages and breeds, including German Shepherds, Belgian Malinois, Labrador Retrievers, have been abused and injured during their time at the Black Rock Canines. More specifically, that at least 10 canines had been killed by employees with a firearm. The canines that were shot and killed were then buried on the property by the owner and owner-operators of the business. On April 26, 2022, the Naugatuck Police assisted state, federal, and Stratford Police with the execution of a search and seizure warrant at the Black Rock Canines. Based upon investigators' observations at the scene, Naugatuck Police Department obtained separate search and seizure warrants, which led to the seizure of evidence directly related to the allegations of animal cruelty. Naugatuck detectives continued to work around the clock and throughout the past weekend, and their investigative efforts led and developed that the accused, Daniel Luna, the general manager of Black Rock Canines, had abused numerous puppies and dogs during his time of employment at the Black Rock Canine facility. Daniel Luna's mistreatment and abuse of these animals included the shooting of dogs, which were deemed no longer viable for the business. Witnesses also stated that Daniel Luna's lack of adequate care led to the death of puppies who had been left exposed to harsh weather elements. The mistreatment of dogs at this facility is not only the illegal activity that was discovered to have taken place at Black Rock Canine's facility. Witnesses reported that military-grade high explosives were being unlawfully stored at the property. The owner, David Rivera, had directed employees on numerous occasions to remove high-grade explosives from the storage location at Black Rock Canine, and at the same time, transport these to the Naugatuck Event Center for canine training purposes inside the building. At the same time, the event center would usually contain numerous other people who were engaging at other businesses such as cycling and also retail clothing stores at this site. These military-grade high explosives were allegedly stored in Tupperware containers and handled by inexperienced employees who lacked the training or the necessary permits to do so. On April 29, 2022, Naugatuck Police were then dispatched to Black Rock Canines again for the report of employees being threatened. An investigation revealed that Rivera's father, David Rivera Sr., was on site at Black Rock Canines, and evidence showed that he had threatened one current employee and another former employee with a knife. On that date, Rivera Sr. was arrested and charged with threatening in the second degree and breach of peace with 2 counts. Rivera Sr. was subsequently released after posting a $25,000 bond and is scheduled to appear at Waterbury Court on May 11, 2022. Based upon this information that we had developed, on May 2, 2022, David Rivera Jr. of Stratford turned himself into the Naugatuck Police Department on an active warrant for his arrest and was charged with conspiracy to commit cruelty to animals, reckless endangerment in the first degree, conspiracy to commit euthanization of a canine. Also, on May 2nd, 2022, Daniel Luna of Waterbury turned himself in to Naugatuck Police and was charged with the following: cruelty to animal with 4 counts, conspiracy to commit cruelty to animal, 4 counts, reckless endangerment in the 1st degree, unlawful euthanization of a canine, 4 counts, conspiracy to commit euthanization of a canine, 4 counts, and identity theft in the 3rd degree. Rivera Jr. was released after posting a $150,000 court-set bond and was issued a court date of May 18, 2022 at Waterbury Superior Court. Luna was held on a $225,000 court-set bond and arraigned at Waterbury Superior Court on May 3, 2022. On the morning of May 3, 2022, Naugatuck police detectives obtained an additional search and seizure warrant at the Black Rock Canine site. The purpose of this warrant allowed state and local animal control officers to remove the remaining 31 dogs which were housed at this location and place them in a shelter. These dogs will remain at that shelter and receive the proper care they need pending the disposition of this case. The allegations outlined in these affidavits are not only illegal, but they're also disheartening. As a police agency with 3 successful working canines that serve our community to their highest capability, we're appalled at the treatment that other dogs of the same caliber were given while under the care of Black Rock Canines. Furthermore, the fact that Rivera Jr. is a police officer and used that authority in the commission of these crimes undermines the trust and confidence that all Connecticut law enforcement officers seek to build within their community. We would like to recognize the dedicated investigative work of our Naugatuck police detectives, our animal control officers, who had worked tirelessly to complete this multifaceted investigation swiftly and relentlessly. We would also like to thank the Naugatuck Street Department, who aided in the recovery of several euthanized canines on that property at 100 Hunters Mountain Road. We also praise those citizens who have come forward to ultimately provide the essential testimony. It's our sincere hope that these involved in this case will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. At this time, I could field several questions if anyone has any.
Can you talk about the nature that the puppies were handled in? You said harsh conditions?
Correct. It's alleged that the puppies deceased as a result of a lack of adequate heating and conditions that were provided at that location. It's alleged that he participated with this employee to arrange for their illegal euthanization.
What were the condition of the dogs that were taken from the facility?
So the dogs that were initially that were seized passed initial medical screenings and initial medical checks by our local and state animal control officers. However, pointing to these allegations here, we felt that it was prudent to apply for a search and seizure warrant to ultimately remove them from the premises at that location.
We have the name
Oh, correct. That's Canine Indy, our service canine.
of INDY?
INDY.
How many
Andreas?
dogs total were found dead and how many dogs total were found abused?
So during the course of the investigation, it was alleged that approximately 10 dogs had been illegally euthanized. Naugatuck detectives working with the street department ultimately recovered the remains of 4 dogs that had been euthanized.
You mentioned a charge of identity theft or fraud?
Correct. One of the employees is believed to be utilizing a false social security number, Mr. Luna, during the course of his business activities at that location.
What was the Naugatuck Business Center? Did he have a shop in there? Or what was
Correct. So there was a separate off-site training location that he was using, and during the course of his training of those canines, he was moving those explosives to that location. Hence why there's the charge of reckless endangerment in the 1st degree, because we believe the placing of those explosives in there. As the exact nature of the explosives, the type, obviously I have the State Police Bomb Squad Sergeant here who could speak more directly to that. But again, that's what led to that specific charge in this.
small mall or strip mall? What is it?
It's an event center. It's a large open floor plan where there's commercial businesses. There's various activities and retail space there.
Were any other arrests made in addition to Luna and Rivera?
At this time, these are the only arrests which were made by the Naugatuck Police Department.
Are you expecting to make more arrests?
At this time, no. Absent any additional evidence surfacing. But like I said, this is a very comprehensive investigation. There's a lot of different parts that have come forward. So I can't rule it out, but at this time there's nothing immediate.
How long has this been going on for? Do you have an idea?
I believe the business opened approximately in 2019. These allegations are believed to have occurred over approximately the last, I believe it's 4 to 6 months, and then they came forward just recently within the past several weeks, which led to this investigation unfolding as I've described it.
That was going to be my next question. Can you tell us what was crucial in bringing the investigation to this point?
It was definitely the cooperation of numerous witnesses who felt that something was going on up there that was not appropriate and possibly illegal, and they brought this forward to law enforcement's attention.
In your career, how egregious do you see this animal cruelty case that I'm sure you've dealt with quite a few in your career?
This is definitely one that pulled at the heartstrings. I know our investigators are certainly disturbed by what they saw, and as well as the allegations up there. Not just animal lovers, dog lovers, anyone who has any appreciation for living creatures was certainly upset by this investigation.
Are any other agencies pursuing any other charges?
We have other charges that were made by the Stratford Police Department. I defer to the Bridgeport State's Attorney's Office for comment regarding that investigation. Again, the state police assisted in that, and I'll turn it over to the state police PIO here in a moment if you have any other questions about the other investigations. So.
I have one question. Does anyone know which departments and which agencies wound up with dogs that they train?
Not at this time. I don't have that information available to me, but it was, open source as far as what they were marketing and everything else on their business page. So, Sergeant, could I turn it over to you if you have any comment about your agency's investigation or role in this, as far as that?
Sure. Good afternoon, Sergeant Dawn Pagan with the State Police Public Information Office. So in reference to one of the comments that you made or the questions that you had in regards to other agencies potentially, obviously this is, multiple agencies are examining this, and there's a lot of moving parts going on, but we're all doing our due diligence to make sure that, we cover all our bases and make sure that no stone goes unturned. Yes.
How many explosives were found?
That's something.
So several pounds
Sergeant Connolly.
of high and low explosives were found at this point. Sergeant Connolly with the State Police Bomb Squad. Several pounds of high and low explosives were discovered during the investigation.
And how explosive were those, would you say?
Explosives are explosives. Again, several pounds of high and low explosives were found during the investigation.
And some of them were unstable, correct?
I'm sorry?
Some of them were unstable, correct?
Oh, any explosive is treated obviously as an explosive. Like I said, the biggest issue here with the subject was the improper, the way he obtained the explosives and the storage of it. So that was our concern on the bomb squad. Any explosives that aren't stored correctly is a concern for us. And obviously, somebody who's not licensed to have them is also a concern for us.
So when you mean explosives, I mean, what kind are these? C4s and dynamite? Or
All that stuff is an ongoing investigation as far as specifics. I could tell you it was several pounds of high and low explosives.
how much damage if something like this could have done?
Lots of variables. It's, where they would, if they were to be used nefariously, where would they be used? There's so many things to say about that in regards to explosive, the way they detonate, that it's kind of hard to speculate what it would do. But obviously explosives are dangerous.
And how were they able to obtain those explosives, do you know?
That's part of the investigation. At this point, I can't really comment on that, but they were obviously obtained illegally.
Can anyone speak to as if Rivera's role as an officer somehow aided in this situation?
Without getting into specifics or anything else, it's as we said in our statement here, he certainly, through witnesses, believed that he used his authority as an officer to further some of these illegal acts. So.
Does he have any previous history that similar to this, or any other signs?
No involvement with the Naugatuck Police Department I could comment about. So.
He was not a retired officer, he was currently serving.
Correct. Yes.
Is he on active status right now, or?
I defer to the New Canaan Police Department regarding that for his comment. believe he's on paid administrative status as a result of the previous arrest that was made, though.
I'm sorry. Can we have a copy of what you said?
Yep. So at this point, what I'm going to do is we're going to close this down. I have a press packet that's going to be pushed out through the listserv that we have available for you guys. It'll include booking photos. It'll include the statement here that I've released. If you have any other direct questions, I'll send Officer Durrett back down here to coordinate with you guys directly if you're not on our listserv and get any of the logistics that you guys need here. But again, thank you very much for attending us today. We'll continue to keep the community updated if any additional information comes forward. So.